Alright, so it says here that William owns and runs dog kennels, okay? And his costs depend on the number of dogs in the kennels. So we've got here the running costs for 1 day, as is shown by this graph here, okay? Now it says then, why does the graph not pass through 0, 0? And I've written my answer here, okay? But just to expand on that, just appreciate that, if it goes through 0, 0, there, that means he hasn't got any dogs in the kennel, okay? No dogs at all. But we need to appreciate, even if there's no dogs there, he's still going to have costs. He's still going to have what we call fixed costs, costs that just don't go away, regardless of how many dogs you've got. He's still going to pay the electricity bill. He's still going to pay rent for the building and so on, okay? So that's why it doesn't start at 0. So if he's got no dogs there, he's still going to have bills to pay, right? So that's why we start slightly up here. We notice then, on this scale, it actually starts at 10, doesn't it? Because if you notice here, we've got from 0 to 50, 10 little squares, okay? Well, we can work out then, if there's 10 little squares to 50, we can work out what one little square will be, yeah? So 50 divided by 10 is 5, yeah? So then 2 little squares will be 10. Okay, so the fixed costs are £10 per day. Now, when we go on to, excuse me, part B, it says, what is the increase in the daily running costs for each additional dog that is kept in the kennels? So how much does each dog cost, basically, to keep? Well, what I did here is I looked at the graph and I worked out what 10 dogs would cost. Okay, so 10 dogs would cost £50. Okay, if you notice there, so 10 dogs there, we got up to £50, the total cost. But that doesn't mean that each dog then we can work out, if there's £50 for 10 dogs, we could work out what one dog is from there. You could divide by 10. That's not the case, because remember, of that £50, £10 of it is fixed costs. Okay, so the 10 dogs would actually cost the £50, take away the fixed cost, which is equal to £50, take away the £10, which is equal to £40. Make sense? So if 10 dogs cost £40, then we can work out what one dog will cost, and that would be £40 divided by 10, and that comes out to be £4. Okay? Right, part C then, it says Frida also runs a dog kennel. The cost of keeping 20 dogs in her kennels for 1 day is £130. She knows that as the number of dogs increases, the overall costs increase at the same rate as in William's kennel. Display this information on the graph paper opposite. Now, the fact that it says the overall cost increases at the same rate, if it's at the same rate, what that means is one dog will also cost £4 for Frida. Okay, so one extra dog will be £4. Okay, so that's kind of useful information. But it does say 20 dogs will cost £130. So if I look on my graph here, 20 dogs here will be 130. So if I go up to a point on this line, 20 dogs up to 130, well, there's 100 there, and then that'll be 110, 120, 130. So we're here. Okay. Now, a couple of things you can note. Because it's increasing at the same rate, the line will be parallel. Okay, so it'll be perfectly parallel. But the other thing we can do as well, we can actually work out what the fixed costs will be for Frida. Okay, because if you think about it, 20 dogs, but remember, because it's increasing at the same rate, one dog is worth £4. So that means if she's got 20 dogs, 20 times £4, each dog would cost £4 to keep. That would be £80. So she's spending £80 on those dogs. Now we can see what the fixed costs are going to be. So you could see there, if it's £130 and the dogs cost £80, you can see that the fixed costs will be 130, take away 80, £50. Okay, so Frida's cost is a little bit more. So fixed costs, of course, when you've got 0 dogs, be £50. We're going to go through the graph there. So then we draw our line joining those 2 points. And you notice that it's perfectly parallel, as you'd expect, because it's increasing at the same rate. Okay? And then it says, find the cost of keeping 30 dogs for 1 day in Frida's kennel. Well, 30 dogs, remember now, you've got to include the fixed costs as well. So we've got from 30. We can read across from here to see what that would be. So £150 there, that would be £160, £170 is what I get there. Okay, so we can put 170 from our graph.